I'm so tempted then. Um, Michael, thank you very much for joining us today. It's a pleasure bringing you to the table. It's one of the first times actually that we've brought a new piece of tech into a room where I was skeptical, and and you convinced me, right? You 100% that you did that, and I threw two people at you instantly, and they're both going to be buyers, including one being my daughter, and James, who's going to take this to his customers as well. So that's the element of mystery which makes this next sort of 30 minutes worthwhile. Would you introduce yourself, sir, and in basic, 5-year-old terms, tell people what you do?
Yeah, yeah, of course. So, like I said, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to do an introduction. Talking at a 5-year-old level is about as high as I can go, so we'll be fine with that. Um, I'm Michael Swain, and I'm a co-founder of an AI voice company called Get Malakai. A little bit on my history: 20 years in business to business IT solution sales, including owning, operating, and exiting my own IT managed service provider, and now a co-founder of an AI voice platform that we've named Get Malakai. Um, it can do inbound and outbound calls using AI voice, talking in a human natural manner, like I am to you now, Gary, and then action that how you need it to. So just imagine any person that's at a desk with a keyboard and a phone, the AI voice can do that. But when you're doing it that way, it's consistent, it doesn't get sick, and it's 24/7.
Okay, something I mentioned that you mentioned before, your honesty is breathtakingly refreshing. It's not as good as a human, right?
Absolutely. AI is currently not better than a human, and the voice platform is no exception. So you shouldn't be using this for anything that is make or break for a business. This should be an overflow service. So if you haven't got a human available, then this can overtake that on the inbound side. But on the outbound side, it should be doing that really low level basic work that you'd love to have done on the phone, but the cost of the resource for a human is too great, so the AI can go in between. But it needs to be simple work.
So the things that jump to me instantly are keeping people's CRM and database up to scratch, going out to people to check for things like compliance, and making sure that they've got their documentation in place, to speed up that process. And there was a third one. I can't remember what it was. The
So
oh,
availability.
yeah,
So
availability
availability.
for, yes, and actually doing it for a bit of resourcing, long listing, 100%.
Yeah. So, making a call that you need to chase someone up on and they're ignoring your emails, but you haven't got the resource to maybe make that call, get the AI to make that call because it sounds professional and it has a natural conversation, but it doesn't contain human nuance. So, if it's asking when are you available, you don't need human nuance for that. It's a black and white question. Same for sort of cleansing data and compliance question. If it's ask the question, put the answer in, it's amazing at that and it can do it at scale. If you're looking for something with human nuance, trying to close a deal or anything like that, you wouldn't use the AI because you need a human to do those kinds of things. It's the low level run rate, day to day stuff that you wish you could have people doing on the phone, but you can't justify the cost or the time investment.
And whereabouts does it actually plug into the tech ecosystem? Is
Anything with an API. So anything that you've got that can talk to other bits of software, it can talk to. I provide you with a phone number. So I provide the phone number for it. If it's an outbound call, I provide the number. If it's an inbound call, you just have it as a failover. So it just forwards the call on.
okay? So if I wanted you to cleanse, let's say we've got 5,000 candidate records that we haven't
Mm.
spoken to for over a year.
Hmm.
If we're doing that, then the limitations, am I buying my phone outbound from you? Am I using my own phone system and my own numbers to do it? How does that work?
So I can procure a number from anywhere in the world. So if you want a local range number for where you are, or even multiple local range numbers if you're all over the UK, I can get that for each agent. Then you load the contacts that you want into the system to make the calls. You design the agent for what you need it to do, and the agent then makes the call out of my software. So it's normally 60p per minute for that. So for every minute it's on the phone, it's 60p. We reduce that down to 50p for anyone in your network.
Okay, which is brilliant. Thank you for doing that. What's the what about international calls?
Yeah, anything. Yeah. So we can do international calls. We can dial out internationally, and I can
Is it
get
no more
international.
expensive to do US?
No,
How
no,
does that
no. There's
work?
no. Pardon?
That's amazing. How does that work?
Because when you're doing voice over IP, the cost is fraction is practically zero.
Okay. So and is that how you charge this? 60p per call? Is that the total
Per
cost? Or
per minute, no, 50p per
um
minute. Per minute.
okay.
So it's a per minute bill.
Okay, but typically what's the average longevity of a call saying, are you available? Give us this information. Are we talking three
Sub
or
three
four
minutes.
minutes?
But normally sub 3 minutes. So you want to try and keep it punchy. Because like I said, the AI is not better than people. So especially if it's outbound, you really want to be condensing this into something really simple, getting as much information as quickly as possible that's relevant. And then if follow-up's required, either that would go from sending them a link that they might follow up with or having a human follow it up. You don't want people on the phone for too long because they know it's AI, and the psychology of people is if it's a long call, they get frustrated that a human hasn't bothered. If it's a short call, they sort of accept that AI is doing it.
Okay, I totally get that. And I remember you saying that it's better to acknowledge the fact that this is AI at the beginning of the call.
I actually have it in my terms and conditions. You can't try and pretend that this is a human. So you have to introduce it as either AI or virtual. That's I've got in my terms and conditions. The other thing I've done as well is it sounds very human-like, but I've had to rate the humanity back a very tiny bit because if it sounds too human, people feel uncomfortable at how good it is. So that's sort of built in as well. So I can make it sound super, super human and really, really clear, but people feel uncomfortable when they know it's AI and it sounds like that.
Okay, and everything that's taken from that call, does that get populated onto the CRM?
So if we're connected to your CRM, yes. So what it will do is it transcribes and records every single call. So you get a full transcription. We put a list of the information individually that you want that can be populated in individual line items. And then every single call is read by the AI and you get an AI summary of how that call went as well.
Okay. And does it highlight leads currently? So that might be a lead, that might be an opportunity. Is there
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
pings out
yeah.
from it?
Yes, yeah, yeah. So it knows the difference between a lead and not a lead once it's finished the call and can highlight the difference. So it can say if the call was neutral, negative, or positive, and then it can put that as lead, yes or no as well.
Okay. And what's the best way to use something like this? Do you have a super user who just does this within an organization? Or is it something that you expect everyone to be pretty au fait with and, be at least a 6 out of 10 as a user to get the best out of it?
Um, I think that would depend on the individual businesses. It is easy to use because the whole thing's built using AI. So you're talking to the software to build what you want instead of having to learn it. So I've used AI. So you ask AI what you want from the software and it creates what you want. So you're having a conversation with the software as opposed to having to learn it. So anyone can use it. It would very much depend on the individual business and their needs. That would be it's that's not a black and white conversation. That's grey for the business. What do you need? Not what, but it can do both.
And you're so transparent with this stuff. Where's the limitations for this? Where can it fall down?
Um, so people don't always like being called by AI and they hang up. So some people don't like an AI phone call. They just hang up on it and that's fine. You get the same with cold calling as well. If it's asking something too complicated or that it doesn't know, I've programmed it in so it doesn't hallucinate. So if it doesn't know, it's programmed in to say, I don't know that, and ask if it would like to pass on a question. Um, in regards to limitations, there's a little bit of latency, so you can hear a little bit of a gap, but not too much. It's perfectly acceptable. No one generally has complained about it, but when you listen to it, you can hear it. But people still have the conversation. They know it's AI, So, like I said, as long as you're transparent at the front and you don't try and pretend it isn't what it is, generally people are accepting of any limitations that we get. It's worth noting at the moment, AI is doubling in ability every 4 months. So, where we'll be in 4, 8, 12 months' time is going to be completely different to where we are today.
It's a little bit like Moore's law on acid.
Moore's law on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yes. That's probably what I meant. Uh, actually, no, I'll take it on acid. That's brilliant. Where's tell me about some of the customers that you've currently got.
Sure. So we're working with estate agents and SEO company for outbound. The estate agency is activating old landlords and asking them if they want a free review on the Renters' Right Act. The SEO company is asking people if they want to be AI searchable. We're working with IT support companies to raise tickets for customers that call in with support problems when humans don't answer the phone. I'm working with further and higher education to do outbound calls to their absent students to do welfare checks. So some of them have got 500 to 700 students off a day, and it's doing welfare calls for them. And I'm also, as a bit of a passion project, I'm working with age concern and utilizing it to support elderly people that suffer with chronic loneliness. And it's having conversations with people that maybe don't speak to someone for an entire week. Again, they're completely aware it's AI, but it's just nice to have a conversation. It has that sort of placebo effect for them. So that's where I'm putting some good in for it as well. We've got other customers that are using it to cleanse sales calls when they come in. So in a national boiler company for installations, repair, or servicing, it goes through all of the questions, tells them the price and the time scale, and asks them if they want to book, and then pass it through to a booking agent afterwards. There's it's a an evolving market, and there's so much that we can do with it.
Do
It's
you know what?
really
Yeah. I'm sorry to cut
yeah.
across, but I'm thinking about education, nursing, blue collar. There's there's a lot of spaces there where you can actually think, are you showing up today before they even are there to give yourself 2 hours leeway to actually make sure you can find someone. If not,
Yeah,
so it can actually be operationally give you best practice to actually make more money.
I've got a massage clinic that I'm working with, and she's got herself and two other masseuses, so it can book, cancel, and take appointments and payments. But if one of her masseuses is off sick, I've built a feature in that it will call every single customer when they're off to ask them if they want a refund or to rebook because they're not going to be in today. So the AI does it, and then that masseuse hasn't got to worry about managing that as well. So it is capable of doing that and actively doing
Okay.
that now.
What 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 are the questions that I haven't asked you so far that I should?
I think it's a real base. It's more a question for the people that might be watching this, and the question should be: how many calls are you making at the moment, and are you missing any calls if any inbound calls come in ever? And if you're making a lot of outbound calls or you're ever missing inbound calls, then let's have a conversation, and we can just openly talk about what might be a possibility for you. Everything's completely built bespoke for you. It's not an off the shelf product. It's not we sell blue ones and yellow ones. You can't have a purple one. If you want a purple one, I'll sell you a purple one.
Okay, so the total cost of someone implementing this from day one and running it for, let's say, a 10-man business.
Sure. So, generally onboarding and setup, I can do sort of from 500 to £1,000 as a one-off. And then the minimum monthly would be £150 a month, but that just goes into your credits and holds on whether you use them or not. So if you don't use them that month, I'll let them roll over to the next month. It just means that I've got a reoccurring coming in, for having the platform set up and things like that. So I don't just end up with lots of stagnant customers.
And what's next on your roadmap?
We're currently creating a booking platform. So we're doing a booking platform to support anyone that needs to cancel, book, rearrange things just natively in the calendar. We're doing plugins to Salesforce and HubSpot and other CRMs for it like that. So anything that people, because we're founder funded and founder led, and we've got four developers working full time at the moment that we're hoping to expand on later. if someone says, I want it to do this, if you're a paying customer and it makes sense and I can also sell that to other people, I'll build it for you. Tell me what you want the platform to do. If it makes sense, I'll build it for you. If it's just for you, there's a small charge for it.
Okay. Well, look, I think you've been brilliant, and that's exactly what we want. Um, yeah, I'm a massive fan already, so I think it could really work for a lot of people. Do you want to sign off with anything?
Um, if you're making calls or you're receiving calls and you want to find out more, have a one-to-one and I'll build something bespoke for you for free. We can have a conversation and see if it fits. That's all.
Okay, well that sounds totally unreasonable, mate. That's that's brilliant. Right, thank you very much for your time, Michael, and hope that works for you a treat.
Yeah, well, look, I really appreciate you sort of giving me a bit of support. I'm really looking forward to
Yeah,
seeing what comes out of this. I'm excited.
right. Should we cut that?